Hello everyone, welcome to Onestop Academy English. In this lesson, you will learn how to form a complex sentence by combining two simple sentences. We will use adjective clauses for this purpose, and you will be able to advance your English level in no time. So let's start. First, let's understand what a complex sentence is. It has two parts. The independent clause, which is a complete thought and can stand as a sentence on its own. And dependent clause, which depends on the independent clause for meaning. For example, in a sentence, she found a book that is interesting. She found a book is independent clause. It can stand as a complete sentence. While that is interesting is dependent clause, which depends on the first part of this sentence for meaning. Now let's start making complex sentences. Here we have two simple sentences. He met a woman and the woman works at the hospital. We can combine these two sentences and make one complex sentence. He met a woman who works at the hospital. He met a woman is independent clause because it can stand as a sentence on its own. While who works at the hospital is an adjective clause, which is dependent clause. It cannot stand as a complete sentence on its own. Now make one sentence by using these two simple sentences. 1. They visited a place. 2. The place is where they grew up. They visited a place where they grew up. They visited a place is an independent clause, and where they grew up is adjective clause, which is a dependent clause. Here are two simple sentences. 1. She bought a dress. 2. The dress was on sale. Make a complex sentence. She bought a dress that was on sale. She bought a dress is independent clause. That was on sale is adjective clause, which is dependent clause. Simple sentences are: he adopted a dog. The dog was abandoned. Make a complex sentence. He adopted a dog that was abandoned. He adopted a dog is independent clause, and that was abandoned is adjective clause, which is dependent clause. Two simple sentences. We attended a lecture. The lecture was informative. Now make a complex sentence. You can pause the video here and make a sentence, and then you can check your answer. Use adjective clause to make a complex sentence. She found a wallet that contained cash. Here are two simple sentences. 1. He met a person. 2. The person spoke multiple languages. Now make a complex sentence. He met a person who spoke multiple languages. Here are two simple sentences. 1. They visited a city. 2. The city has a vibrant nightlife. Now make a complex sentence using these two simple sentences. You can use an adjective clause for this purpose. Now make a complex sentence using these two simple sentences. You can use an adjective clause for this purpose. Can you identify the independent and dependent clauses? I will show you the complex sentences and you will have to identify which clause is independent and which one is a dependent clause. Here is a sentence. The car, which was parked in the driveway, needed a jump start. Now tell me which clause here is dependent clause and which one is independent. I have used an adjective clause as a dependent clause here. The car needed a jump start is independent clause because it can stand as a sentence on its own. While which was parked in the driveway is adjective dependent clause. The book that he recommended was captivating. You can pause the video and write in the comment section which one is dependent and which one is independent clause in this sentence. The book was captivating is independent clause. That he recommended is adjective dependent clause. She is more confident than she was when she first started. Write down in the comment section which one is dependent and which one is independent clause in this sentence. Independent clause is she is more confident. This sentence has complete meaning. The dependent clause is than she was when she first started. You cannot write it as a complete sentence. It depends on the first sentence to show its meaning. The movie, which received several awards, was screened last night. Pause the video and write the dependent and independent clauses in comment section. Independent clause is the movie was screened last night. And dependent clause is which received several awards. The person who won the race trained for months. Pause the video and write the dependent and independent clause in this sentence. The person trained for months is independent clause. Who won the race is dependent clause because it doesn't mean anything on its own unless it's combined with the first sentence, which is the person trained for months. The house where my grandparents lived holds cherished memories. The independent clause is the house holds cherished memories, and the dependent clause is where my grandparents lived. The restaurant, which serves authentic Italian cuisine, is always crowded. The independent clause is the restaurant is always crowded, and dependent clause is which serves authentic Italian cuisine. The city, Where I spent my childhood has changed a lot. Independent clause is the city has changed a lot. And dependent clause is where I spent my childhood. How confident you feel to find independent and dependent clauses in complex sentences now. Let's check in the next sentence. The cat that belongs to my neighbor is missing. Independent clause is the cat is missing, and dependent clause is that belongs to my neighbor. This is the last sentence of this practice. Listen to this sentence carefully and let me know in the comment section which one is dependent and which one is the independent clause in this sentence. The laptop, which was purchased last year, is now malfunctioning. Before I give you the answer, find out your own answer in this sentence. The independent clause is the laptop is now malfunctioning, and dependent clause is which was purchased that year. Was this lesson helpful to you? Let me know in the comment section, and I will see you again with another English lesson. Until then, bye.